position.
A single drone just crossed into enemy airspace undetected. No pilot, no radio chatter, pure machine. And somewhere in a command center, a general watched the screen and smiled. The next major war will not be won by the side with the most soldiers. It will not be won by the side with the biggest navy. It will be won by the side that controls the sky without ever putting a human in the cockpit. The United States military has been quietly building 5 weapons that could make that a reality. These are not prototypes. These are not science fiction. These are real, tested, battle-ready drones already in active development or deployment, and they are unlike anything the world has ever seen. One of them can fly alongside an F-35 and make its own combat decisions. One of them has already flown more than 150 combat missions over active war zones. One of them costs so little to build that the military is willing to crash it on purpose. And one is about to replace an aircraft that has served America for over 2 decades. By the time this video is over, you will understand exactly why military experts are saying the next major war could be decided before the enemy even knows the fight has started. If you believe American air power is still the greatest force on Earth, drop the word proud in the comments right now. Let's get into it. Let's start with number 5. Segment 1, drone number 5, the MQ-9 Reaper. If you want to understand where American drone warfare stands today, you start here. The MQ-9 Reaper has been the backbone of U.S. unmanned combat operations for nearly 2 decades. It has flown strike missions in Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Somalia, and Yemen. It has logged more combat flight hours than any other unmanned aircraft in American military history, over 1 million combined flight hours across the fleet. But here is what most people do not know. The Reaper is not being retired. It is being upgraded. The latest version, the MQ-9B, has extended endurance of over 40 hours. It can carry up to 8 Hellfire missiles and laser-guided bombs simultaneously. Its radar can track moving targets on the ground even through cloud cover, and its satellite communication system allows it to be flown from a control station thousands of miles away, meaning a pilot sitting in Nevada can control a Reaper flying over a target in the Middle East in real time. During Operation Inherent Resolve, Reapers conducted hundreds of precision strikes against high-value targets with near zero collateral damage. In 2020, a Reaper drone was the aircraft that carried out the strike that killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani at Baghdad International Airport, one of the most significant targeted strikes in modern American military history. But the Reaper's real value in the next major war will not be shock and awe. It will be persistent. It can loiter over a target area for hours, watching, waiting, feeding data back to commanders. In a conflict against a near-peer adversary, that kind of continuous surveillance is priceless. It is the foundation, but it is only the beginning. Segment 2, drone number 4, the MQ-1C Gray Eagle Extended Range. The U.S. Army's primary combat drone is an evolution of the original Predator platform, and it has been completely transformed for modern warfare. The MQ-1C Gray Eagle Extended Range, known as the GEER, can fly for up to 42 hours without refueling. It carries a payload of up to 3,000 pounds, including Hellfire missiles, the air-to-ground missile 179, and the Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System. It operates at altitudes up to 29,000 feet, high enough to stay out of range of most man-portable air defenses. But what makes the Gray Eagle truly different in 2025 is something called man-unmanned teaming, known as MUM-T. Here is what that means. An Apache attack helicopter crew can connect directly with a Gray Eagle flying miles away. The Gray Eagle's cameras feed directly to the Apache crew's screens in real time. The Apache pilots can then direct the drone to specific targets or hand off strike authority entirely. One Apache crew controlling one Gray Eagle becomes the equivalent of 2 separate strike aircraft working together. The Army tested this system extensively during exercises in Europe, and the results were described by commanders as a complete tactical shift. Enemies that thought they were only engaging one Apache suddenly had 2 sets of eyes and 2 sets of weapons coming at them simultaneously. The Gray Eagle also carries signals intelligence packages, meaning it can intercept enemy communications. In a land war, Europe, the Pacific, Korea, that ability to fuse airstrike power with real-time intelligence is exactly what the ground commander needs. And the next upgrade? Full autonomous takeoff and landing, integrated AI targeting, and the ability for a single operator to manage multiple Gray Eagles simultaneously. Segment 3, drone number 3, the General Atomics Avenger. Most people have never heard of this one. That is exactly why it matters. The General Atomics Avenger, also called the Predator C, is the drone that bridges the gap between what America can do today and what America will need to survive tomorrow's air battles. Here is what makes it different from anything else currently flying. The Avenger is jet-powered. It flies at over 400 miles per hour, significantly faster than the Reaper, which tops out at around 300 miles per hour. It is built around a low observable design, meaning radar has a much harder time detecting it, and critically, it carries its weapons internally, in an internal weapons bay, rather than hanging them underneath the wings. That single design feature dramatically reduces its radar signature. It can carry up to 3,000 pounds of weapons internally, including the Joint Direct Attack munition, the small diameter bomb, and a variety of precision-guided missiles. It has an endurance of 18 to 20 hours and can operate in contested airspace where the Reaper simply cannot survive. The Avenger was originally tested for U.S. Navy carrier operations. The carrier variant was ultimately shelved in favor of the MQ-25 Stingray for refueling missions. But the Air Force and Special Operations community have continued to invest in the Avenger's development, and as of 2024, it remains in active evaluation for multiple classified mission profiles. What makes the Avenger critical to the next major war? Speed and survivability. In a high-end conflict against China, against Russia, against any adversary with modern air defenses, the slow propeller-driven Reaper becomes a target. The Avenger does not. It is fast enough to operate near contested zones, stealthy enough to penetrate defended airspace, and capable enough to carry the weapons that win battles. Think of it as the Reaper's older, faster, and far more dangerous sibling. And that brings us to a drone that, when it was first tested, made even experienced Air Force pilots stop and stare. Segment 4, drone number 2, the XQ-58 Valkyrie. In September 2023, at Edwards Air Force Base in California, something happened that military historians will likely write about for decades. An artificial intelligence agent, not a human pilot, took control of the XQ-58 Valkyrie drone and flew a live aerial combat simulation against a manned U.S. fighter jet. The AI made targeting decisions, executed maneuvers, and responded to the human pilot's actions, all in real time, faster than any human could react. It did not lose. The XQ-58 Valkyrie is built by Kratos Defense and Security Solutions. It is a high subsonic, low observable, autonomous, unmanned combat air vehicle with a range of over 3,000 miles, longer than an F-35. It flies at Mach 0.9, or roughly 690 miles per hour, and it costs between $3 and $5 million per unit, a fraction of the cost of any manned fighter jet. That price tag is not an accident. It is a strategy. The Valkyrie was designed from the start to be what the Air Force calls a low-cost, attritable aircraft. Attritable means the military is willing to lose it. If a Valkyrie gets shot down over enemy territory, the Air Force loses $3 to $5 million. If an F-22 gets shot down, the Air Force loses $165 million and a pilot. The Valkyrie's mission is to fly ahead of and alongside manned fighters as a loyal wingman. It can be pre-programmed with a mission or controlled in real time from another aircraft. It can carry sensors, electronic warfare packages, decoys, or live weapons. And because it does not need a human pilot to survive a high-G maneuver, it can execute combat moves that would kill a person. As of early 2025, the U.S. Marine Corps had formally selected the Northrop Grumman and Kratos team, built around the XQ-58, for its collaborative combat aircraft program, pairing Valkyries directly with F-35s in future air combat operation. This is not a concept. This is a fielded decision. American F-35 pilots will soon have an AI Wingman flying with them into battle. But even the Valkyrie is just one piece of a far larger plan, and the final drone on this list is the one that ties everything together. Segment 5. Drone number 1. The Collaborative Combat Aircraft (CCA) program. The CCA, Collaborative Combat Aircraft, is not a single drone. It is a program, a family of autonomous combat aircraft being developed to fly alongside, and eventually ahead of, every major manned fighter jet in the U.S. inventory. In fiscal year 2024, the U.S. Air Force awarded development contracts worth over $500 million to 2 teams. General Atomics received a contract for its Gambit series, and Dural Industries received a contract for its Fury platform. Both are being designed to operate as autonomous AI-controlled combat aircraft that work in concert with human-piloted jets. The vision is this: in a future Pacific conflict, say a conflict over Taiwan, an F-35 pilot would launch into battle with 3, 4, or even 5 CCA drones flying with him. Those drones would carry additional weapons, serve as decoys to confuse enemy radar, execute strike missions on secondary targets, and protect the manned aircraft from incoming threats, all simultaneous, all autonomously. Here is what makes this program unlike anything in history. The CCA drones are being designed to operate without constant communication with a human controller. They have onboard AI decision-making. If communications are jammed, which any smart adversary will attempt immediately in a real conflict, the CCA drones keep operating on their last known mission parameters until contact is restored. That matters enormously. China and Russia have invested heavily in electronic warfare, jamming systems designed to cut the communications link between drone and operator. That is precisely why the Reaper is considered vulnerable in a high-end war. The CCA is built to survive exactly that threat. The Air Force's stated goal is to have an initial CCA capability operational by 2028. Some analysts, citing the pace of recent testing and the level of congressional funding, believe the timeline may accelerate. Pentagon planners describe the CCA program as the single most important aviation investment of the decade. Former Air Force Chief of Staff General Charles Brown described autonomous wingmen as a force multiplier that could shift air dominance calculations against any adversary. At current funding levels, the Air Force is aiming to procure 1,000 or more CCA aircraft over the coming decade. 1,000 autonomous combat aircraft, each one flying alongside American pilots, each one capable of independent decision-making when communications are cut. That is not the future of American air power. That is the near-term reality, and it is already being built. 5 platforms, 5 roles, 1 clear mission: keep America dominant in the air no matter what comes next. The MQ-9 Reaper watches and strikes today. The Gray Eagle fights alongside the soldier on the ground. The Avengers survive where older drones cannot. The Valkyrie flies with human pilots and thinks for itself, and the CCA program multiplies all of it across every cockpit in the fleet. China and Russia are racing to catch up. They have not. And the men and women behind these machines, the engineers, test pilots, the officers who push these programs forward, they are the reason why. Conclusion: the next major war starts in the sky, and it starts fast. These 5 drones are America's answer to that moment. If this video gave you something to think about, hit that like button and subscribe. More stories on American military power are coming, and you do not want to miss them.